Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel, and today I have a book subscription. Now this is not one that is sent to me for review. I am a subscriber of Once Upon a Book Club and I go with their adult subscription. They also have young adult and middle grader options. It looks like they got a new box because now it has some purple and the interior also has some purple, so that's kind of fun, but it's always fashioned to look like a book, and I know there are plenty of people who are a little behind on their book subscription box TBR piles, so this kind of looks nice all lined up on your bookshelf if you just haven't gotten around to your boxes yet. They also do a one-time limited edition boxes. I've reviewed some of those. We are actually going to be using their summer reading box as our basis for our Book Nook, which is our book subscription that we do over in the Nobot Nook, which is our private Facebook group. I know, kind of confusing, but if you want to know more, join the private Facebook group or join us in one of our live streams. You still have time to get in on that particular book because it is just a one-time book instead of a recurring subscription as is this. So the subscription though is $49.99 per month. That's always going to include the book. They send out hints, but you can also find out the actual title now, which I thank Priscilla for letting me know. I just noticed that on the last hint that they sent out, so you can find out the actual title. You can switch between the different subscriptions if you want to do young adult 1 month, if that sounds a little bit better to you. And then as you are reading along, you get the book, of course, a quote card, a bookmark, a little reading guide where they usually have an interview from the author. They have reading dates if you want to read along in book club with the subscription. And then on the back they have just some fun games or information. For example, because this was based on Henry VIII and all of his 6 wives, they have some Tudor trivia, which I thought was kind of fun. That $49.99 does include the shipping on this as well, which I think is really nice. Now I usually do the 3-month subscription just because that's what works best for me, but I do have a referral code that will save you a bit. It is Noel10, and that will save you 10% on your purchases over at Once Upon a Book Club. And I do believe that will work with that one-time summer reading box if you want to join our book club and read along for that. So it sounds kind of fun, but you definitely could look it up and see if it sounds like a read that you would want to enjoy. So like I said, inside, now we have purple on the interior. It used to just be white and black, so they've added a color to their printing. And you also get all of the things. So I showed you the guide. I had already taken that out. It usually comes in a nice plastic sleeve. We have a signed book plate. I think that's kind of a nice touch because they work with the authors and the publishers. Here is our quote card and of course our matching bookmark from the book, which is written by Karen E. Olson. It's called An Inconvenient Wife. And the quote, of course, is, "We all have enemies, my dear, and some of them are closer than we think." So look, it's this mysterious woman in the black hat. And then I love that our author's note, which I haven't actually read yet, is handwritten from Karen. That's really, really cool. So it does look like a handwritten note. Usually it's typed, but I'll have to give this a read if we have some time. That's kind of neat. Now, I did enjoy this book, and I'll read the blurb to you as well as the passages that are associated with the gifts, but I did find the ending a little lacking, and then I did find out over on Goodreads because she's actually responding to some of the comments, some of the reviews. Look how cute the packaging is, right? So it matches everything. I did find out that there is going to be a sequel to this modern retelling of the story of Henry VIII and his wives. So maybe some of the answers that were left unanswered, for me at least, there were quite a few that were left unanswered. Maybe those will be answered in the next segment. So here we have more of the wives, interestingly enough. I don't know much beyond the superficial divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived of the 6 wives. You know, we know Jane Seymour and Anne Boleyn, and there was a couple Kates, and I think there were 3 Catherines actually, so that's why it gets a little confusing. There may have been some historical references or allusions in the retelling that I missed, so some history buffs who really know this time period might have gotten a little bit more out of it, or maybe some of the answers that I was seeking were in there, like where you would know, oh, if it follows this storyline, maybe she's I don't know, she's going to play this role in the future. I don't know where it's going to go. She's probably going to have to deviate, because there are definitely some deviations. It was the inspiration for the characters of the wives of, I think he's Hank instead of Henry in the book. But you know, it's not exactly, doesn't exactly go along with history. So it couldn't be a contemporary one, right? Because we don't really get beheaded these days. So let me just read the, and we did get a nice hardcover. We don't always get hardcovers with Once Upon a Book Club, but I thought this was fun. So let's see. It says, this astonishing crime novel inspired by the Tudor era takes the reader into the world of Kate Parker. So she is supposed to be wife number 6, which I believe is Catherine Parker. Let's see. It says, who's just married billionaire Hank Tudor when a headless body is discovered near their summer home. And so he's so associated with beheadings that we figure it must be one of the wives. And of course, 2 of them were beheaded. So yes, I think that is that the right one? I'm not sure. There was Catherine Parr, Catherine of Aragon, Catherine Howard, Anne Boleyn, Anne of Cleves, and Jane Seymour. So 3 Catherines, 2 Annes, 1 Jane. Whew. Kate Parker knows what she's getting into when she marries billionaire businessman Hank Tudor. She's his 6th wife, after all, and was by his side as his assistant when his 5th marriage to actress Caitlin Howard fell apart. So there was a Catherine Howard in real life. But honeymoon plans go awry when a headless body is discovered near Hank's summer home, forcing Kate to contend with 2 more of his exes. Catherine Alvarez, the first, who lives as a shut-in with her computers, carefully following the Tudor enterprises, and Anna Klein, the 4th, who runs a bed and breakfast where she and her wife keep a steady eye on things, particularly Hank's children, Lizzie and Teddy. In this clever and suspenseful reimagining of Tudor-era betrayals, these 3 women become entwined in a deadly game of cat and mouse with each other, Hank, and Hank's brilliant fixer, Tom Cromwell, as Kate seeks to solve the puzzle of who the murdered woman is, who killed her, and whether her death has any connection to the other headless body 8 years ago. So the other headless body we are led to believe would be the other Anne Boleyn. So that was 2nd wife. So 1st wife is in there, Catherine, and then Anne Boleyn we think is beheaded, or Nan in the story. We have Jane Seymour. We don't know who that is exactly. Anne, which is Anna Klein, Anne of Cleves. And then Caitlin Howard is discovered, and she was the movie star wife, and that was the one that came right before Kate Parker, who was supposed to be Catherine Parr. Sorry. I was like, it could be Catherine Parker. That doesn't sound right. All right. So let's get into it. I finished this a couple of days ago. It was a very quick read, but I will say the end left me wanting. So here is what it looks like when you come across a gift. We had one on page 10, one on page 109, and one on page 202. Usually there's anywhere from 3 to 4 gifts. I was a little bit surprised that this time around there were only 3, but there weren't any little extra things like a Spotify playlist or like little inserts. Sometimes they'll do something like that, and it's not really a tangible gift, but it sort of adds to the reading experience. But I didn't find any in my book, at least. So I will say I thought the items this time around, before we get to them, were pretty nice. It wasn't my favorite curation, though, by far. So anyway, page 10. It gets a little confusing in the beginning to just figure out who the characters are and then try to link them to the ones who they're historically based off of. So this is when they find out they have to come back from their honeymoon a little bit early, right? So she's talking to Anna. So all right, so Anna's in the car, I think, or on the phone. Kate is in the car and talking to Anna. So, Kate? Anna's voice brought her back to the moment. Yes, it was a woman's body. She was beheaded. Anna's tone was matter of fact, as though she said such things all the time. You have to warn Hank. Kate tightened her grip on the phone and took a deep breath, the scent of the new leather in the limo rushing into her nose. She absently worried the soft seat with the side of her thumb. This particular piece of information would be a game changer as far as the police and the media were concerned. Do you know more than that? No. And I only know that because a couple of the local officers were here and told us. They asked us if we'd seen anything, but we hadn't. It wasn't until the police cars arrived that we noticed anything at all. So at this point, they don't know who it is, but there's another headless body that is getting linked to good old Hank. So in this gift, page 10, we have, let's open it up and find out. While we're at it, let's have a secret password. Let's have it be wife, W-I-F-E. Now, when you come across a secret password in one of my videos, you want to enter it along with your contact information in the Google form that is linked for you in the description box below. Please don't put it into the comments because then I have to delete them. And then about 6 days into the following month, I use a random number picker to select a few winners to receive mystery boxes as my way of saying thank you for watching my videos. You do have to be 18 years or older. You have to have a US or Canadian mailing address. Canadians, I need a little help with the shipping if you choose to opt for the mystery box instead of a gift card. And you do have to be subscribed to my channel. But today's secret password is wife. Just as a reminder, not affiliated with YouTube or any of the boxes that I open here on the channel. Just a fun thing that we do here so that I can share the wealth. So we got smells like leather, a hanging air freshener for your limo, you know, or your Bentley or whatever other rich driving car you have. So I thought this was kind of cute. It looks like they probably had this like white labeled, but it's a nice little air freshener, right? I thought that was kind of cute. It says leather. It even says Once Upon a Book Club on it, but in the tiniest little writing. So fun. I wonder if it really smells like leather. I'm going to give it a quick sniff if I can. So, it does. That's cool. I wonder how you like actually get the diffuser to start working, because you don't smell it when the cap is on. So I'll have to figure that out. Oh, you know what you do? It says you remove the wooden cap and carefully remove the plastic stopper, and then you put the wooden cap, replace the wooden cap until secure. So I think that you take the stopper out. Oh, okay. Interesting. And then you hold the bottle upside down for about 5 seconds to allow the cap to saturate with oil, and then you turn the bottle upright to hang. So this little wood part becomes the diffuser. Okay, that makes more sense. You could also, yeah, I think that's the way you use it. But it does smell good. It's the way I would be okay with my car smelling. All right, so page 109, we've got like barbed wire, right? So, and they do have all of this packaging printed up. It really kind of adds to the experience. This is probably one of the largest book subscriptions that's out there. So they do get to work with publishers and authors quite a bit. They do a lot of white labeling and creating items for the boxes, which I think sometimes is more successful than others. Sometimes the little sticky note is a little small one if it's sort of down towards the bottom of the page. So this one says, oh, so Kate is walking towards some of the kids. And then but as Kate began to head toward them, she heard a voice behind her. You the new one? Kate pivoted around to see an older woman walking toward her. She wore an oversized button-down white shirt over a pair of baggy linen cropped pants. The wide brim of a straw hat obscured her face, but she tilted her head a little so Kate could see the large dark sunglasses, the bright red lipstick. You the new one? She asked again. What was the woman doing here? She thought that the only access to this beach was through Anna's property. You're not stupid like the last one, are you? The woman's tone was low, serious, as she came around and stood next to her. He doesn't like stupid women. I'm sorry, but I don't know what you're talking about, Kate said, although she was almost certain that she did. This woman knew Hank, knew about his wives. Not that this wasn't a small community and everybody probably knew everyone, but it was disconcerting all the same. So this is kind of where we get this image of these women with their big hats. So we find out that there's, you the new one? Yeah, I'm number 6. All right, so this is what we got, all crumpled up. I haven't even opened it up. It's kind of a cool hat. It does have a little quote card on it. The wide brim of a straw hat obscured her face, but she tilted her head a little so Kate could see the large dark sunglasses, the bright red lipstick. So they have it labeled sun hat. It's a really elegant one. It does have, this is interesting, it does have a drawstring inside so that you can change the brim. And then it has this elastic trim strap, which I do find kind of goofy because like that, especially because it's white instead of like a darker color, I don't know, or like a tie that you could use. But it is helpful sometimes to have those. And then it's not obtrusive to just have that tucked up into the top part of the hat. Now, I have a lot of sun hats. I do like the black band. It makes it a little bit more elegant, and this mesh along the edge. You can usually just kind of reshape hats that have gotten super crumpled up like this with a tiny like spritz of water. And then I usually will just shape them as best as I can and then lay them flat on a bed so that the brim gets a little bit more flat. But I do like this little this little ribbon design here. So let me go ahead and put this on. Do I look like a wealthy lady that should be wearing dark sunglasses? Now, I think that once upon a time, when I first started getting Once Upon a Book Club a long time ago, they sent us a red straw hat one time that said like, shh, I'm reading or something. And I remember it also coming really crumpled. I don't know if there's any way that they can get around this, but this is a lot more elegant and could be a kind of fun, like, you know, easy beach hat where you don't care so much if it gets kind of messed up. It has a big brim though. All right, you guys, we have one more gift to go, one more page, and I do want to try to read that note from Karen if I have a chance. So let's see. Do I look mysterious now with this like little veil edge? So on page 202, oh, here's a sticky note that I didn't see. This is just a sticky note that says, watch out for yourself and the new one. You're both in danger. And that's for Maggie, who turns out to be the lady that was wearing the hat. I've never seen that. Okay. I don't know how I missed that. All right. 202. So there was a little extra item inside. For 202, let's see. Oh, goodness. So Kate has gone back to her own apartment because she's supposed to be moving into Hank's place, but she kind of seeks refuge in her own apartment. So it says, she crumpled Hank's note in her palm and went to the other side of the island, tossing it in the trash can under the sink. But then she heard the doorknob, and she froze as the door opened. She hadn't locked it. Alex Culpepper walked in. Don't worry, you don't need to know who it is. I don't want to have too many spoilers for you. The last time she'd seen him, he'd been his movie star self, tall, confident, and good-looking, but today his hair was tousled, his eyes bloodshot, his cheeks blotchy, and he hunched over as though in pain. What do you want? She demanded. I didn't invite you in. Kate, he pleaded, lunging toward her, trapping her against the counter, her arms behind her. Panic rose in her throat. She felt around and her fingers closed over one of the knives in the block. He leaned in closer. She could smell the liquor on him, his breath hot against her face. You shouldn't be here, Alex. She tried to keep her voice calm, but her entire body was shaking with fear. Ooh, scary. So this is page 202. I thought this was kind of a nice thing. They have a cheese knife set, a set of 3. I'm going to go ahead and take this hat off as much as I do like it. I feel like it's making the video a little bit darker than I would like. Whew. But I felt very elegant in it. So it's this nice cheese set. It's kind of cute. It says it includes a flat blade knife, a cheese fork, and a spade knife. And of course they have branded it Once Upon a Book Club. They like to do that. It's kind of funny because it's got like, it looks like a rolling pin, but it's a cheese knife set. So it's just got this like thick cardboard, and then we have this nice cheese knife set, which I thought was cool. So instead of like a butcher block with like knives that you could stab somebody with, an intruder, we have this nice, I've gotten a lot of cheese knife sets from different boxes, but I think this is great. This is kind of the season of hosting, making some nice charcuterie boards. This would be great for if you are bringing over a nice cheese board to a friend's house. You could be like, hey, and this is also like my hostess gift to you. You get to keep these cheese knives, and here's the little box that they can go in afterwards. I think that's kind of a cool thing. So just going over the items that we got, we did get this leather scented car freshener, which looks nice. I will say it's like a nice looking one. We got this kind of elegant hat, which unfortunately did come really crumpled. I don't know how they could send it not crumpled, but I'll do my best to reshape it, and I'll make it kind of my elegant summer hat when I'm feeling very like, I don't know, wearing my big caftans by the pool somewhere. And then we got a nice cheese knife set that's also very simple. I like how simple it is in terms of the styling and the color. All right, you guys, let's read on the back of our quote card our little note from Karen, the author. So it says, and again, this is the book if you want to read it. I highly suggest just knowing going into it that there is a sequel coming out. So if you have questions like I did, we just have to wait a little longer. Dear Once Upon a Book Club reader, I am so thrilled to share An Inconvenient Wife with you. This book has been a labor of love for me. I've always wanted to write about the Tudors. Henry VIII was a dangerous, volatile man who literally changed the course of England's religious history because he wanted a divorce, and so many wives. Here, they're not victims of a king's tyrannous whims, but strong women capable of controlling their own fates. Well, give or take a couple who might lose their heads. While this modern retelling is loosely based on history, I'll hope you come away from it wanting to learn more about Henry and his wives. You can also see what I've taken liberties with. Happy reading, so you can see what I've taken liberties with. Happy reading, Karen. So true. I've wanted to see the show 6, which is also based on the wives and kind of giving them a little bit more agency. They all seem like pretty strong personalities, right? Some of them have been, you know, I think one of them he was only married to for a very, very short amount of time. One of them he like treated like a sister. I think the one that he truly loved was Jane Seymour, or at least got treated the best. And then, you know, there's the other Boleyn girl. We've watched the movie. So if you are a history buff, I don't know that you will like it, but I think it's different enough and not just a straight retelling that it made it interesting. There was some twists and turns, but I do need the sequel to be satisfied. So, but you guys let me know what you thought about the gifts in this Once Upon a Book Club. And if you are interested, again, in subscribing or trying it out, or maybe trying one of their other subscriptions or one-time boxes, you can use that code in the link that I'll leave for you below. The code again is Noel10 for 10% off. I'll see you soon in my next unboxing.